Hello, everyone. My name is Miss Tracy Bell, and I am a Disability Services Counselor at the Alexandria campus of Nova. I'm here today to provide you with some information about what the Office of Disability Services does, why I think you should apply for accommodations at Nova, and how to do that. As far as the Office of Disability Services is concerned, we support the entire college on all matters related to training and providing information and working with faculty, staff, and students to ensure that students get accommodations and accessibility at the college. Reporting into the director, we have at least 1 to 2 DSS counselors on each of the 6 NOVA campuses. At Alexandria, it is myself and Mr. Steve Brogan, so you will meet with one of us when you are called in for a meeting to talk about accommodations. We also have sign language interpreters and captioning support staff for individuals who may be deaf or hard of hearing, who need the support in the classroom for someone to basically translate what is being spoken since they cannot hear it. We also have an assistive technology coordinator who will sit with our students to teach them how to use assistive technology software, such as the audio note-taking software called Sonocent, which would allow a student to pull in PowerPoint slides being shown, take a few notes, as well as record audio related to those PowerPoint slides. So the AT coordinator can sit with a student and teach them how to use that software. Lastly, we have a reader scribe coordinator who works with the individuals that we hire to sit with our students either in the classroom or in a testing situation to literally read and or write down what that student says. So we're all here to help you develop some new skills as you learn to navigate this new college environment. So now let's talk about some reasons why I think you should apply for accommodations at Nova. First of all, Nova is not the 13th grade. It's an institution of higher education where the academic and behavioral standards will be very different than high school. Secondly, if you had an IEP or 504 plan in high school, that document will not follow you automatically to Nova. The only way that your instructors at Nova are going to know that you have accommodations is that you have completed the process to establish eligibility for those accommodations, and we'll talk about what that process is in a second. Thirdly, college is just going to be more difficult than high school. You're going to need a level of self-advocacy and independence in a number of areas, some of which include, your ability to make decisions, your ability to manage your time, your ability to communicate with your instructors in a timely and appropriate manner. And if you have a DSS counselor there to help you and to ensure that you get your accommodations, I think that is going to help you in this new environment. And also, I think it's simply better to have the accommodations and not use them than to not have them at all. It's also better to have them rather than to wait until the last minute to apply for them when it's likely there's not going to be enough time for you to use them anyway. So really getting them from the beginning of the semester and using them is going to be to your benefit because accommodations are not retroactive, meaning you cannot go back and redo something once you get them. You can only move forward. One of the main reasons that I think you need to apply for accommodations at Nova is the idea that high school was really about your individual success. The high school had to test you. They had to determine what your needs are. They had to do whatever they needed to do to make sure that you were successful and got through high school. That could have included modifying the curriculum. It could have included changing the curriculum, changing the academic requirements, changing the academic standards. It could have involved giving you extra support staff, individualized support staff for you, so you could meet your educational goals. When you get to college, none of that matters. In college, the accommodations are about access, okay? But they cannot alter the nature of the course or the curriculum or the way it's taught. So you will be required to meet all academic standards as every other student. And also, in college, the accommodations are about eliminating barriers to your ability to learn and function in that college environment. So having accommodations and having a disability counselor to work with you to implement those accommodations and to navigate the college environment is going to be to your benefit. So moving on to how you establish eligibility to get accommodations in college, the first thing you're going to do is to visit the NOVA website at nvcc.edu, and in the search box you are going to type in disability support services, and that will take you to a link that will lead you to our home. You're going to complete that online application. It's going to go through and ask you several things about yourself, in addition to what your diagnosis is. You should know that we work with students with a variety of diagnoses, everything from ADHD to learning disabilities to neurological concerns to psychiatric disability to traumatic brain injury, and everything in between. So you will get to identify that diagnosis as the reason why you are seeking accommodations. And once you complete the application and submit it, you will be asked to upload your documentation. So as far as uploading the documentation, you can choose to upload it at that moment, or you can choose to upload it later. Whenever you upload it, just make sure it's in a PDF format so that it can be input into our system where we can take a look at it along with your application and determine if it has sufficient information for us to determine what accommodations are going to be appropriate for you. If it does, we will contact you for a meeting. If it does not, we will contact you to let you know exactly what else we need. So once we contact you for a meeting, you would come in and talk to your assigned DSS counselor, who's simply going to talk with you about your what your access issues are. What do you need to be able to level the playing field in terms of taking this course or navigating the environment. And based on that information, we're going to determine the individual accommodations that are best for your needs, and we're going to put all that information in what we call a memorandum of accommodation, or an MOA, which you will then be required to present to and discuss with each of your instructors, and to provide a copy to the testing center. So this is what that MOA would look like. It has the NOVA logo on it. It has the semester date on it. It is only valid for the semester in which it's issued. And it has your student number, your student name, and student ID number at NOVA. Then it will list some guidelines as to how to use the document, and then beneath that there will be the list of accommodations that you have been found eligible for, with a mini definition beneath each to help the conversation between you and your instructor. And the document will end with listing the name of the counselor who issued the document, as well as their email and phone number. So this is the only document that you should be providing to instructors to get accommodations. Please do not share your IEP or 504 plan or any other medical documentation with your instructors when you are seeking accommodations. Again, you must come through the DSS office. So just to leave you with some final thoughts, if you are a student who received services in high school, you will very likely need accommodations in college. Once again, college is going to be harder. You're going to be required to do more, to think differently, and the accommodations will be there to help you. Also, students, you don't have to struggle unnecessarily. The accommodations don't guarantee you success, but they will likely help. So use them to support your academic goals. And lastly, you are encouraged to apply for the accommodations sooner rather than later. Remember, they are not retroactive. So having the document at the beginning of the semester is going to be better than applying for it toward the end of the semester. In conclusion, I wanted to leave you with the DSS website once again, where you can find the online application as well as the documentation guidelines and the contact list for all of the staff members across the college. I also have listed here a link to a guide at the U.S. Department of Education, which is helpful for parents and students in that it lays out different topics related to transition to help students prepare for higher education at a place like Nova. So I thank you for your attention, and I wish you much success at Nova, and I say welcome.